This is video number 53 titled Conundrum. Conundrum means a confusing and difficult problem or question. I need to talk to you all about a big problem I ran into, but I need to give you a little background information first so you can understand the conundrum I encountered yesterday. I need to talk to you about what I do and, more importantly, why I do it. What I do is trade cryptocurrencies and equities and have traded off and on since about 2013. I say off and on because I was in school from 2012 until 2017, so I wasn't exactly trading a lot at that time because my studies came first. I was always interested in trading in the markets even before then, but I was busy with other things, usually a job, and learning how to trade wasn't heavily on my mind. Once I bought my first cryptocurrency, I simply bought with the intention of holding on to it for the long term. I taught myself how to trade by reading trading books and started trading options on equities and completely fell in love with it. I was hooked. I enjoyed trading so much because I had a natural, incessant drive to trade. When I say the word trade, I mean either actually getting in or out of trades, looking at price charts, reading trading articles, doing research on new strategies, or learning from traders who have been in the craft longer than I so I could learn from them, etc. When I say trade, I mean doing anything related to trading or learning about it. I told you that I had an incessant drive to trade. Let's talk about that for a moment. When I say I had an incessant drive to trade, I'm making a serious understatement. The word incessant just isn't strong enough. I'm talking about I had to be trading 24/7, 364. There are 364 days in a year in my calendar because I use the Enoch calendar. I'm talking about I had to be trading 24/7, 364 unless I needed to take care of another task that absolutely needed to be taken care of. My drive drove me to trade all the time. I love trading, and because of that, I obeyed my drive to trade without fail. During the day, I would be trading. During the night, I would be doing the same. I would stay up until the wee hours of the morning trading, usually around 3 to 6 a.m. I would sleep maybe 4 to 6 hours, then get up and do it all over again, day in and day out, 7 days a week. While trading, I didn't care about anything else but trading. When I wasn't trading, I didn't care about anything else but trading. I didn't care about eating. I didn't care about sleeping. I didn't care about taking showers or brushing my teeth. I didn't care about anything else except trading. To give you an indication of just how strong my drive was to trade, one time I was going for about a 3-month stretch, getting around 4 hours of sleep every night. I don't know about you, but that sleep schedule is not an easy one to keep up for any real length of time, but I did it. I used the power of my mind to stay awake even when my body was screaming to just go to sleep. I would be looking at charts and my body simply wouldn't be able to keep pace with my strong mind, and my head would droop down and bob up and down over and over again, about to say nighty night. Then I would catch myself and force myself to stay awake. It was hard to do, but I did it night after night for months on end. Sometimes I'd force my body to stay awake, but my mind would go blank and I'd go into zombied out state and would just be staring at my computer screen. I'd have no idea who I was or what I was doing because my mind simply had nothing else to give and would zone out. One day I played the head bobbing up and down sleepy man games, forcing myself to stay awake, and I could sense death coming for me. In my spirit, I heard the words, "If you don't stop, you are going to die." My answer to those words were, "That's not my concern. I need to keep working." Think about that for a second. I had placed trading above my concern for my very own life. Do you understand that? I had gone for months barely eating or sleeping and was a physical and mental wreck, but I didn't care. I was driven to trade, and that was all I cared about doing, and I was doing it. I love trading so much, there is nothing else I'd rather be doing. I told you all the above so you can understand the level of drive and love that I have for trading. Therefore, I can now explain to you my conundrum I had yesterday, and you will understand it clearly. Since starting out on my path to learn how to make YouTube videos, things have gotten mighty interesting. As a channel topic to concentrate on, I chose motivation self-help. After I started to make the videos, I felt like God was supporting me and wanting me to make those videos. Some days I want to get to work on my projects, but I simply didn't have the motivation. I was wanting to trade. Why? Because that's where my drive, love, and joy were, at a level that I could never even try to describe to you. I wanted that same drive I have to trade to be there when I make videos, but it wasn't. I would go a few weeks without working on my videos and God would let me know to get back on them, so I would do some work on them. Then I would gravitate back to trading. Some weeks would pass. Then God would let me know to get back to working on my videos again, so I'd do so for a while, but the motivation and drive just wasn't there, so I slipped back into trading 24/7. Now you must understand, it's not like I don't enjoy making videos. I enjoy making videos quite a lot. I get joy from making them. Once I actually sit down and start working on them. My joy, love, drive, and motivation for making videos does not come before I sit down in that chair and start working. It comes only after I sit down at my computer and start working on my videos. Then I'm fine. Once I start working, all the motivation, drive, love, and joy for what I'm doing naturally appears. Getting myself to actually sit down in that chair and begin for the day is the challenge. It's not like I don't have drive, joy, and love making YouTube videos. It's just that I have a lot more drive, love, and joy for trading. So that's where my heart and mind is naturally gravitating to 24/7, 364. So before I sit down to work on my video projects, I'm naturally thinking about trading, not making videos. So even getting to the point of actually sitting down to make the videos seems like a monumental effort sometimes. Yesterday was one of those days, except it was the worst. I was trying to find the motivation to start, but it wasn't there. I was trying to manufacture the motivation in my mind and spirit out of thin air. I was trying to grab at something that would give me the motivation to begin, but there was nothing. I tried sending my arms and hands into the spiritual realm for something that would help. There was no help. It felt as if I was grabbing at air, grabbing at straws. I asked God, why did you give me this task to do, making YouTube videos, but not the natural drive and motivation that it would take to get me going with passion every day? I already knew the answer to that question because he had already answered it once when I first started on this journey. While making my first video, I felt the same way, except not as intensely. And I asked him, why did he put me in this place when I have no natural motivation or joy to sit down and make YouTube videos? I never originally planned to create a YouTube channel. I just wanted to learn how to make videos for my own enjoyment and family. He told me the joy will come after you begin. That's funny because that is the same exact point I was making in my video number 48, Joy 2.0. Sometimes the joy comes after we begin the process, and it always begins after I sit down in the chair to work on my videos, not before. Remember, it's not like I don't enjoy making YouTube videos. I love making them. After I sit down in the chair and start working. Before I sit down in that chair, I can find zero motivation to sit down in that chair and begin working. It's the most uncanny thing. So what did I do to win that battle? I decided that I needed to come to grips with reality and fully realize that the anointing for trading is not the same anointing I have for making YouTube videos. It's different. I think God gave me that all-encompassing desire to trade because he knew it would be a great skill to learn for me to earn a living, and I could also teach it to my kids. So since I have zero motivation to make videos before I sit down in that chair, my solution was to start. Just simply to start without the motivation being present. Motivation is not a prerequisite for getting anything accomplished. Neither is joy, love, or anything else. To accomplish something, you just need to get it accomplished. So that's what I did, irrespective of any particular emotions or state of mind. I just did it. And once I sat down and started, the love, joy, and motivation for making videos suddenly popped up and I was okay. I'm the type of person who doesn't like to do that which I don't want to do. Therefore, I gravitate to the things I love to do, and I'm good at those things because there is a natural motivation, drive, love, and joy built into that thing, so I don't have to try to do those things or fight myself to get myself to do them. When I was young, I remember how I hated to go to the DMV to renew my license and registration. What was my solution? I simply didn't renew and drove around for years without a current license and registration. That was cute. After failing in my attempt to find some sort of joy or motivation to get me going to work on my projects yesterday, I decided to just jump straight into the process. Once I sat down and started working, I was happy as could be. The drive, motivation, love, and joy for making videos came rushing back into my soul, and I was okay. I said to myself, what the heck? What was all that fight and refusal to move business all about? I had never dealt with anything to that extreme at any time in my whole life. I pondered the question of why did I go through that extreme emotional situation where I felt absolutely zero motivation to sit down and start working. I was wondering why I was forced to go through that extreme insanity yesterday. Well, I don't know, but maybe it was so I could relate to you my conundrum by making a video on it to help some of you out. Maybe some of you are about to begin work for the day on your goals and you may be facing the same conundrum as I did. Maybe you need to make some calls to clients and the motivation simply isn't there to do so, regardless of how hard you try to manufacture motivation in your soul. Maybe some of you need to get up out of the bed to go on your morning run, but your bed is so nice and cozy and warm and it's telling you, please don't leave me. I want you to spend another hour with me here, and you have given in to its pleadings. Maybe some of you need to get up and go to some classes that you have enrolled in to increase your knowledge base, but you just don't feel like going. You'd rather stay home and watch TV or go out to eat with family or friends. I think some of you folks out there are the people who need to hear this message. In my opinion, the insane conundrum like this one I was having, and like some of you may be facing right now, is very strong and compels us to take no action. It feels so strong in battles against us. If you want to be successful at defeating the conundrum, do as I did. Don't fight the strong feeling trying to get you not to move. That's a waste of time. Let it simply exist. Then do what you need to do to defeat that conundrum. How do you do that? Simply begin. And the motivation will come on its own and you will be okay. Like this video and leave a comment right now.